Hi. Oh gosh. We just got a huge thunderstorm. Our first one of the year just so happened to be right when we're about to live stream. So I changed the time on this live stream and made it so that we couldn't go live anymore.
So now we had like 60 people waiting and now they're not here.
Sorry.
It's filling up though.
Cool.
What's the joke? Just waiting for a few people to join in.
I'm just waiting for a few people to join. You got a list, right?
Yeah.
Of our updates?
I do. Should we just start now even though there's no one here?
For the replay once this is replaying.
First up is solar. And then we can kind of run back through this once a bunch of people are here.
But just for once this is no longer live to make it more interesting.
First thing is solar. We've been waiting a long time for that to get here, like our batteries and stuff. And
because we're working with a company who's going to supply us with batteries.
Yeah. Should we say who?
Maybe once we officially get them in the mail. Yeah. It's been about 6 months that we've been doing back and forth with this company, and supposedly the batteries will arrive tomorrow.
Yeah. So once they get here, I still need to figure out all of our peripheral cables and everything. So that will be a big project. But we've been waiting on that because that kind of unlocks the rest of everything. Once we get our solar kit, then we can figure out all of our appliances and start building out the back room and all that. What?
Let's just see. I don't know if it's dirty or not.
Yeah, looks the same.
It does look the same, doesn't it?
Yeah.
We're on our new iMac.
But yeah, so solar is the big thing. I already have the panels on the roof. So
it's all ready to go.
Yeah, it's been ready to go. We just need to get the kit here. But we were waiting on, they're sending us out a new technology. Like the batteries are new.
Yeah.
So that was what took so long.
Unreleased?
Yeah. So they should be really cool.
Hopefully. We built a wall because the batteries are going to go on the other side of this, and we're going to have this is so cool. We'll show you in an upcoming video. That's why we were doing a live stream today, is because we wouldn't have time to get this video done before today, because it's kind of I still have to finish it a little bit, but forever. Oh, speaking of where it's at on this video screen for you guys watching, a YouTube partner manager who just gives us little tips and tricks every, I don't know, monthly, or it is a little bit weird. That's my hat also.
Why is it weird? Did I fix it?
I think so.
It's mirrored, so I can't fix it in the...
We have this partner manager who gives us tips and tricks for having success on YouTube, and it's helpful. I suppose it's actually why I always do premieres lately, is they said that the algorithm favors that. What they've been pushing us to do lately is create the membership thing here, which is kind of Patreon through YouTube. So we did that mostly just so that we can be in YouTube's good favor. And we have the option somehow to give away 10 free memberships today, but on the live stream. Yeah. But similar to our Patreon, we created Patreon a number of years ago, because people asked us to create it. It's never been something that we've really dedicated special time to. It's always been YouTube, the free videos. And then only recently have I started using Patreon to give first access to my jewelry launches, just as a one kind of.
Something else that patrons have always gotten though too is we always respond to their messages.
Always direct communication. And that's going to be what is going to happen with the YouTube memberships too. If any of you feel inclined to sign on, it's available. We unlocked it.
And it is kind of cool because your comments will go in a specified box. So it you get kind of precedence as far as the conversation under videos and stuff goes. So it's pretty neat. But
nothing will change for anyone.
Yeah, we might do like some special, like really rough videos for patrons and YouTube members, just kind of quick updates, house tours, whatever.
Keep them both the same perks between the two.
Right. But if you want to do that, that's there. But otherwise, nothing will change if you don't subscribe to either one of those. So.
Yeah. Now that that's out of the way.
What else? Outdoor shower.
I did just shower today because right outside this door right here, we've got a shower. We got a new Julka, same shower that we had in our Hot Girl Summer video when we made our off-grid shower a few years ago. That one kind of crapped out on us, so we got a new one.
Well, the Julka, can we just talk about it real quick?
Yeah.
When it was outside, the pilot light would just really easily get blown out, and it demands quite a bit of water flow just for it to work at all, like over 2 gallons a minute, which is more water than we ever had on hand. So we couldn't really use it, but now that we have our cistern, we can use water more liberally. But even still, the shower pressure that I want is the least that it can push, you know? So I don't know that I super recommend Julka, but it's one of the best solutions for shower, like a propane inline shower that's hot. They're little things that could be better about them. But
we've gone through a lot of off-grid shower iterations, and this one seems to be the best. So long as
it is, unless you're
because
outside.
of our setting, because of our situation.
Because we have, like, if you were on a creek in a place that never gets any wind, then the Julka would be super kick-ass. But if you're in a place where you're at all rationing water and you might have a little bit of wind, then the Julka is not totally ideal. But since we can keep it inside now, it works well. Are you doing any water reclaiming? Hey, Retro Renos.
Hi.
Not really right now. We want to set up our rainwater collection, and we have everything dialed for that. We just need to get gutters set up and do the thing, but we just haven't made time for it.
Is that better?
I don't know. I just figured we'd be lacking light, but where are we here? Do you want to talk about the wall and what the mural is, or is that going to be a surprise?
It's a surprise. You'll have to stay tuned.
Are you sure?
Yes.
Okay.
Okay, fine. Okay.
Okay, talk about it.
You talk about it. You're the one who wants to.
The mural is a topo of our land in the surrounding area.
We projected a map onto the wall, and then I did it with a brush.
You did such a good job.
Thanks. It went pretty well. Whoa. Did you
That's
hear that?
our roof, like the higher roof dripping onto the lower roof. So that might happen here and there. But yeah, it's a topo of our land. So it's super cool.
We missed a bunch of early questions. Sorry about that. If any of you want to re-ask them.
Next on our docket is that Hot Girl Summer is probably making a comeback. Let's go.
Explain what that is.
Does anybody? Yeah, sorry that's so loud, guys. But that's why we were trying to wait for the rain to stop before we began this. But is everybody familiar with what we're talking about with Hot Girl Summer? When my hair was long, we would take photos for thumbnails of me with my hair down, like from behind, and then Elsa would edit the photos to make me look really feminine and cute. And and we would, it worked really well as clickbait for.
But why?
For thirsty people. For thirsty dudes primarily, I think.
Well, it's because there are some there's a tendency to, the back. It's a really nice wig. There's just a culture of outdoor off-grid channels who they do really provocative thumbnails. And
it's like off-grid plus boobies. And it's just kind of stupid.
So we just want to, I don't know, join in on the fun. I'm sitting on it.
Well, now it's more screwed up. So it's just fun for because now our audience, like you guys, our subscribers and people that are close to us will know that it's coming. So then when you see it, it'll be hilarious for you. But then for the thirsty dudes that are trying to get like some risky off-grid content, they'll be unpleasantly surprised.
Well, that's what's so funny for us is people get so mad in the comments. There are people who don't normally watch our videos and they get really mad because they were thirst trapped. And Barron turns around with his beard. We just think it's really funny. And if it's distasteful,
that's kind of the point.
Yeah. So you'll probably see some of those. We kind of want to make her a character and name her. And
okay, so Elsa is saying that her name should be Sharon.
Because it's like Barron, but it's she.
But I think it should be Bernice. Look, Baroness, that's close to Bernice. What should the name be? And do you guys have a better name, or you all have a better name?
When should she come out? Because, for example, somebody coming out when we're gardening, she
is Bernice like a kick-ass gardener?
Yeah, something like that. She comes out here and there when we're doing a particular activity. I just think it'd be so funny. But Barron has an aunt, Sharon. So
it kind of messes me up.
Karen, I have considered Karen, but I think Karen has her own identity.
Yeah.
It's looking like Bernice.
I think Bernice is hilarious.
BB.
Brandy. No, Brandy's like too real.
Cara Huppridge. Welcome as an astronaut. Thank you.
Wow, that's really sweet.
Mama Pete Cooley. Welcome as a Nomad. And Twice.
I don't understand. Okay. Oh, Barbara's good.
Barbara.
Bernadette is good too. I just think Bernice is fun to say. Beatrice is good too. Baroness is funny. That's more of like if it was like a queen.
Maybe she is. Baron and Baroness. Do any of you remember when we did Elsa this was years ago? We were doing a supplement video and Elsa came out. So this is kind of mocking that.
And Elsa was like a meathead weightlifter version of Elsa with my voice.
We should bring back Elsa too here and there. That would be hilarious.
Bernice and Elsa should just have a full video. Are you going to voice over Bernice?
Oh, I probably should.
That would be amazing.
Oh, it's so funny. If you go back and watch that video, it's something. Elsa, if you type in Elsa Rhae and Barron supplements, I'm sure that video would come up.
It's in like the Own the Day series. Okay, so there's that announcement. I hope you're all very excited. And in the comments like of this live stream, if you could like propose a good name for that character, then I don't know, we'll just like see who gets the most thumbs up.
Oh, that's a good idea. So not in the chat, but in the comments.
Yeah, in the comments after the video.
Any updates on the house?
Yeah, we have a lot.
Were you about
but those are kind of later.
Okay.
The staying in the groove with consistent videos is a big thing. We've been trying to do weekly videos, but we just had a ton of stuff going on. So that's why we're doing a live stream instead. We were going to do just like an update video, but thought it'd be more fun to do a live stream. Last
year, we were uploading every other week, and YouTube has really changed the, we're not getting paid as much and views are down. I think for a lot of our YouTube friends, it's a similar experience. It's kind of hard to see that happen, but it's also something that I don't want to stop doing.
I think part of it is with TikTok. and like
Oh, yeah.
short form content kind of taking over. But yeah, so we've been talking about doing some sponsorships because we've never really, well, we've done a
Couple.
just a handful of those, but we're being super selective to make sure that sponsorships are genuine and not just, I don't know, the normal kind of crap.
And so far, any that have been offered to us wouldn't be genuine.
Yeah. So we've vetoed all of them. But like the solar company that we're working with is one of the best solar companies there is. And same with the solar panel company. So
yeah, I didn't realize until recently that most YouTubers make their money off of sponsorships, and their ad revenue from YouTube is the lowest paying part of their income. Oh, that's more water coming off the roof deck.
I'll go brush that all off if it stays bad.
We've only ever made money off of ad revenue. There were a couple sponsorships that we did a few years ago, but we've really been making all of this work with very low income between the two of us, and it's been excellent. Our life design is to need very little, which requires us to work less than what we want.
So with all that being said, this video is brought to you. No, I'm just kidding.
Oh, sponsorship?
Yeah, I'm just
Athletic Greens, which we actually do love. We love Athletic Greens.
And Audible.
Yeah, but we're not sponsored by them.
Yeah, but
Squarespace.
And then another thing, yeah, we both have Squarespace sites, but we never worked with them. We should have been for
We don't
100
want
years.
to.
Yeah, I don't think we're tight enough.
Hey, is this water too loud on the roof?
I can go push it off.
Y'all could get so many sponsors if you tried. If you only knew. It's proving to not be very easy, actually.
Well, I don't know.
Well, and it has
If we
been.
were less selective.
Okay, because I see somebody mentioning BetterHelp. There's BetterHelp, AG1. It used to be Skillshare, Audible, these really common ones. We've never done before because I don't like to see them in videos. So we didn't want to put them in our videos.
And we have lived frugally enough to where it's no problem. It's going to start raining again. Oh no. But something else, should we talk about last year?
Mama Pete said the water is fine. If the water stops being fine, please let us know. We'll do our best. It doesn't hardly ever rain out here in the desert, so this is not something we typically interface with.
It like the water is bursting loud like that because it's pooling up on our upper roof, and then when the wind blows, it drops down to the lower metal roof.
We will have a gutter on that soon.
Should we talk about what happened last year money wise that was like put a dampen on everything?
I've been really afraid to talk about it, honestly. When we can just soft launch. We would like to talk about this in depth because I think it deserves depth. I haven't wanted to talk about it because it's not over yet. I was audited for 2021 while we were still on the road. And it's been one of the most criminal things that I've ever experienced. I was doing my taxes through TurboTax, so I think I was a pretty good target. But the reason that I was audited was I have my payments from my website, stickers, jewelry, and everything. Those pay me through Stripe, the payment processor. The IRS said that they received 3 identical 1099s from Stripe that were all the same numbers, all the same income. So it looked like I owed twice as much as I did. And she said, well, while we're in here, let's just go look.
Like she immediately admitted that that's not right and that it was just a clerical error. But then opened up the whole audit. So then Elsa had to go through and prove every single expense and find all of her receipts from multiple years ago.
Which I had.
Yeah.
But there were things when we started the audit, she said, and I'm based out of Kansas. We're from Kansas. Not anymore. We switched everything to Colorado. And we have a great CPA now, of course, but this is so hard to talk about. My heart is beating so fast. We've been holding this, not wanting to talk about
there's
it.
like a assumption of guilt with it, but it was actually just a clerical error. But then they open up everything, and then you have to dig through all of your expenses and then justify every single one of them to an IRS agent that doesn't at all understand your business or what's going on with it.
She said within a 5-state radius, she's never audited somebody in the social media field. And
said that we would just figure it out as we go. So then all the rules fell in against our favor.
Things like we didn't have Starlink at the time. Starlink didn't exist. So we would have to go to coffee shops to use the internet to upload. So she said that those types of expenses for some reason weren't allowed, which is something that so many people write off for as a business expense. So much like that. It's sickeningly criminal.
And like we traveled too much to write off any of our travel expenses whatsoever. So no travel, even though like our whole job is travel, we couldn't write off anything travel related.
These were flights for jobs.
Yeah.
This was
like
lodging for certain places for videos that we were doing for these places. It was awful. And I ended up, instead of paying for it in payments and accruing interest on it, I paid it outright, which left us with very little money to move forward with the house, which is honestly part of why we haven't moved forward very quickly.
And it was a month last year thing where like that's all that you were dealing with.
Because I had to scrape through everything to get all these expenses.
Multiple proofs of payment. Yeah, it was gross.
And the back and forth to prove myself with the IRS. Oh my gosh.
It's not like, I don't know. It's not that scary. It's just really annoying. And it's just a major financial setback. Because then on any like disputed expense, we had to pay interest and then like a penalty for not doing it right. But the whole way through, they're making it up as they go. So it's like, but then we've been really reluctant to talk about it because we don't want to like draw more attention to ourselves. Just because it's annoying.
You hear so-and-so is audited, and without knowing, if you've never been audited, you just think that they did something wrong.
Yeah.
When in reality, there's a lot of wrong being done on the other end.
Yeah. And I think this will become more and more common because the federal government's like $30 trillion in debt. And it's no fault of either wing of the vulture. It's both are complicit. So it's not like we're making a political statement either way.
I've felt like it. We were doing really well by being non-traditional in our way of life and succeeding we saved so much money, didn't spend any of it. Oh, he's skipping an ad really quick. And put everything we had into our land. We were just very intelligent with our choices. And it was kind of like a slap back down. But that clearly hasn't stopped us. It just has made us go a bit slower.
Yeah. So that was part of why, like last year, our posting was less frequent and stuff because we were just dealing with that like full time. But it's all good, and it was all good the whole time. It was just a matter of arguing expenses back and forth, and they have no reason to.
They hold all the power.
Right. There's no.
And yeah, they go after the small folks. We don't have to talk about this too much longer. We want to upload a podcast about it in detail and explain how absolutely ridiculous the whole process was so that if anybody else gets audited.
Right. And if you look at how money, like, I don't know, if you're interested at all in this, I'd suggest looking into the Federal Reserve and how money is created and fractional reserve banking and how many trillions of dollars are sent overseas every year from our government. Because, yeah, it's pretty interesting how it all works.
We've talked about now a few videos ago, politics, religion, and now money.
Yeah.
Those are the things we're never supposed to talk about. Sorry.
Yeah. I don't know. I think but I think with the audit thing, it's not like it's more terrifying than it actually is.
It was so scary and then proved to be just a pain in the butt.
Yeah.
A very expensive pain in the butt.
And it's so slow motion. Like they
still haven't closed it after I paid.
They'll like everything is so like get it done, get it done, get it done. And then when the ball's in their court, it's like there's no sense of urgency whatsoever. You can't like they went dark on us for what 3 months and then said that
she lied and
said that they tried to get a hold of us and went through our cell phone records and there was nobody had reached out. So then it got escalated because they were pretending. The whole thing was just really gross, but yeah, we haven't wanted to talk about this because for a number of reasons, but I think it's important for people to understand how this works and that our government isn't necessarily working for us, especially on a federal level.
How's the rain sound? Is this fine? Maybe I'll move the camera a little closer to us, the computer. Amy Lynn, you guys here in South Carolina, thank you so much. I have some extended family in Charleston. And then we have a missed one from Gail Cooper. Thank you so much for your super chat, y'all. We really appreciate it.
I can't believe it's not
can't hear the rain.
The most annoying because it's pretty freaking loud.
It's about to be. I don't think we should pull it any closer.
I'm sorry that I just get fired up about that stuff. And I would like to, I think on the podcast specifically, we could talk about things like that more and just be more honest about how we feel about things. Because the conversation I think is interesting and worth having, but also we don't want to like be a downer with that kind of stuff. So
speaking of the podcast, we really want to get it up and going again, but we've been working on the audiobook and the audiobook has been really hard to finish. So we haven't wanted to make the podcast happen because we've been promising the audiobook and then
it's just really hard for us to find time where like both of us are totally free and in proper headspace to like sit down
and to reading that these people have that we don't.
Yeah, it's so hard for me to feign any kind of exuberance or whatever. But
Mary Hart, thank you so much. A 5. What does that mean?
I think that's 5 members, maybe, or something.
Is that it? It shows us when new people join with the membership in green.
Cool.
Anyway.
People have said buffering. We can't. Starlink is probably just having a.
Oh, maybe there's rain on the. Are we doing well now? 5th super chat. Is that right?
Maybe so.
Someone had a 10 a couple super chats ago.
Well, thank you
Amy
all so
Lynn
much.
Oh, and EB, thank you. I missed your super chat. Cool. I refreshed and it's fine now. Cool.
What else do we have to talk about?
Quite a bit.
Oh, garden stuff.
We just did the coolest garden, just finished it, and it started raining. We were very lucky.
Look, Greg, you're so intuitive. He asked about the garden right as you talked about it.
Most of them survived. A couple of them died. Most of them did survive. Didn't hardly put any of them outside, but that was a bummer, of course. Everybody says you cannot plant until June. And I did it anyway.
Super chat is like people can buy comments so that they stand out and then we read them. Like Kara.
Thank you so much.
$99.99. You out of your mind?
Kara or Kara, and you're also a member. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much, Kara.
Thank you.
You all rock.
Yeah, I'm kind of speechless. Thank you.
Yeah. What were we talking? Garden. So we put our garden out like not even 2 hours ago, and we're like, "Great, it's gonna rain. This is gonna be wonderful." And then it starts hailing. Like moments after we got our garden outside. I'm gonna go brush it off.
Okay. We don't get rainstorms like this very often, though I guess it is the season. Rain or wind kind of stopped recently, and now it's rain. Any plans to hunt your own land? We can't do that here. I think you have to have 160 contiguous acres, if I'm not mistaken. And then you require, we have 2 stories high of scaffolding outside. So Barron goes up on the roof when this happens and scrapes off the the rain. He does the snow too. We've got a 1/12 pitch on that roof deck. And while there is a slight pitch, it might not be enough. We'll have to see. We're really excited about that roof deck. Katie, hey, been watching y'all since 2019. Y'all have inspired me to want to homestead, but I'm too broke and land is expensive. We just saved our money as we were stamping, and that's how we were able to make it happen. Looked for cheap land, made it happen. Another camp's POV film, please. We stopped making him talk because so many people kind of got annoyed by his voice. And so then I've been afraid to do it again, but we get a lot of people asking for that. Pilot's doing well. A lot of people were confused as to why she has heat cycles. We're just letting her have a few heat cycles so that her hips and joints and everything can develop properly. There has been research done that shows that that is good for bigger dogs. There's also research that says that get them spayed as soon as possible. Whatever you want to do, this is what we're doing. Camp is fixed. And while it would be so cute to have little Shiba German Shepherd babies, I don't think he'd be able to make it happen. He's never been able to lock with her because she's too tall. So do a pilot POV. She's just out here watching. I guess I could turn this. It's a really beautiful day.
It just keeps filling up.
Cool. I'm glad to see some of you also let your dogs have heat cycles. It feels quite intrusive versus getting a male neutered. And yeah, but that's what we're doing. What else do we have to talk about? Updates, and then we could do a rapid fire Q&A for anybody who has questions.
Dirt bikes.
Oh, you saw in the last video we were riding our dirt bikes. They've been incredible.
Yeah.
Obviously, they always happen.
Thank you, Nick's Picks.
Nick's Picks, thank you.
And thank you for always being an admin too. But yeah, we've been having a lot of fun this year. We've ridden them quite a bit. Last year, felt like we didn't have time, and both of our fork seals were blown. So we got our bikes all tuned up this year and got to ride around a number of times. Mm-hmm. And I actually just went and rode some like really technical single track with a buddy. And man, it was so difficult. And right after I did that, I actually bought some motocross boots. And we need to get Elsa a pair too, because it's kind of sketchy without them. But yeah, it's been super fun. We both have Hondas. I have a 250L, which is their dual sport model, and then Elsa has a 230L, which is also the dual sport. But mine's fuel injected because it's a little newer, and hers is carbureted.
Mine's so much smaller for only being a little bit smaller.
A little bit smaller motor.
It's so great.
How fast can they go? They're geared for highway speeds because they're dual sport bikes. So mine can go maybe 70 and yours maybe 60, something like that.
It has never gone that fast. Mine has not. I love riding my dirt bike, but I don't go very fast.
Somebody asked if we plan on getting a side-by-side. They're just so expensive. We might like split one with my parents.
It would be nice to they have property nearby, and it would be really nice to scoot around on those,
Yeah.
especially when we have little kids and stuff. But we went and test drove one that we were really kind of interested in.
I think it was the Honda Pioneer 1000. It seemed awesome because it's got the like jumper seats and a dump bed and everything, but it was just totally gutless. And if I were to get a side-by-side, I'd want it to be like fast enough to be kind of fun, not just a utility vehicle.
We felt like, why would we have this over our Subaru?
Yeah. And I don't know. I've been looking at RAV4s, like the Toyota RAV4s from like the late 90s. Some of them have a center locking diff and all-time four-wheel drive with like a low-end gearbox, and you can get them for next to nothing. So you could get a RAV4 and like put side-by-side style suspension on it, and then you could drive it to town and stuff. Whereas with a side-by-side, we couldn't ever drive it to town legally. So I don't know, but those old RAV4s, like some people have built them out and they're pretty sweet.
When did you smoke weed? Seeing Barron smoke weed makes me love you so much more.
I don't know. Any elk hunting plans? I'm just trying to figure out how much time we're gonna have and what to do. I just put in for points this year. I didn't put in to draw anything. So I'll probably just hunt over the counter, probably archery, but I'd like to look at rifle over the counter stuff too. Because I've not hunted rifle for elk, and it's a whole different experience. So, yeah.
Thank you, Lori. My snake ring was really fun to make.
We could technically hunt on our own land.
I said no to somebody asking earlier. We don't have enough land.
Well, no, you can't. Like, if we got a private land hunting tag, we could, but it's hard.
Thought we had to have 160 contiguous acres.
That's to get a like specific what's it called, but it's like a depredation or like nuisance tag. So if you have a bunch of acreage, then you can get tags to like manage the elk or deer herd on your land. What years of the RAV4 would you say are best? It's hard to say because like the newer ones have it depends on what you're doing with it. Because the old like 90s ones, I think are really cool for if you're going to build it out and like put new suspension on it and everything and use the locking center diff and all that. But the newer ones that have the V6, there's a few years, I believe it's like 2004 to 8 that are not good. Hi, Rick. But there's a few years that are kind of not good. But there are a number of years that like the V6 is great and it's got good 4x4 and everything. It'd be a great like commuter car that you can get pretty cheap, and it's a Toyota. So aside from just a few years, they're really reliable. But yeah, for building one out, like to mob around like a side-by-side, I think the late 90s ones are pretty awesome.
You are a car geek. You know so much more about cars than anyone I've ever known.
I'm like a reluctant car nerd.
Why?
I don't know. I don't feel like I'm a car nerd, but I know.
You just know a lot about them, but you haven't really had car nerdiness.
Like
you are a very practical car nerd.
Yeah.
It's fascinating. I couldn't tell you what one car is driving down the road.
I have this weird ability to recognize what a vehicle is from really far away by its headlights.
It's wild. We used to do that while we were traveling. He would just name what the car was.
It's strange. But I think a lot of it is from playing Gran Turismo when I was a kid.
Lex, thank you so much. Hi, Elsa and Barron. I'm currently saving up to head out on the road in March. Barron's book has helped me prepare to work with what I have, a small car and spring bar tent. You two always inspire me.
Awesome. Thank you, Lex.
Thank you so much. I'm so glad that you like his book.
Yeah, and shoot me an email if you have any feedback from the book or want to talk about things as you get going. Any plans to have chickens? Yes. There are plans to have chickens.
We needed to get our own house kind of more dialed before we got a chicken house dialed. Yeah. We could have definitely made it work this year, but just didn't.
And I want to have at least one guinea fowl because they are protector animals and they'll kill snakes and eat pest bugs. and they're like pretty. I think they'll eat rodents and stuff too, and they're like an alarm style bird. So I think that would be interesting. I don't know how much our neighbors. No, they won't. They're far enough away. Jackie says hello from Crestone, Colorado.
Hi, fellow Coloradan.
Crestone's a wild place.
Thank you so much.
Get a donkey. I don't know, man. Donkeys are gnarly.
I do the editing for videos. Barron has been helping Favorite lately, which is a feature in Final Cut Pro, and it has been really helpful.
I'm just kind of starting to lay things on the timeline.
I went to school for video production, so it's always been my passion, kind of my career path.
Somebody asked, what about EV knowledge? If I were like for how we live, I don't think an EV is quite practical.
Eric asked.
Oh, hi, Eric. I think for how we live and how far out we are, unless we had like a giant solar kit, I don't know how practical it would be. I would lean more toward a plug-in hybrid for now.
Excuse me.
What?
Where's the vibe? This is my brother asking, and he has my car.
But yeah, I don't know. I think plug-in hybrids make more sense short term for us because part of it would be if we had a full electric vehicle, if it's really hot or really cold outside, it would have to use the battery to maintain an okay temperature so that the battery doesn't get too hot or too cold. So it would be like parasitically losing 10 or so % every night. And until that kind of gets ironed out, I don't know how much sense it would really make for us. And there's not really, I don't know. I'll have to see because like I'm not a big believer in buying new vehicles because they depreciate so quickly. That's why both of our cars are over 20 years old. So I don't know how EVs will fare as far as longevity goes. And most cars that we like, I don't want to buy a car for much over 20 grand ever. Like both of our cars are under 10. So yeah, I guess it just depends on how the longevity of EVs shake out with like battery degradation and everything. Barron, did you get my email about race fuel cans and Dremel chainsaw sharpener? No, I didn't. But I normally respond to all the emails I get, and I haven't seen one from you. I don't know why. Thanks, Matt.
Thank you very much.
Yeah. No, I didn't get your email, dude, but yeah, try sending me another one. You can send it through my website if you want. And we sold our truck to a friend. What do I think about the F-150 Lightning? I think the Lightning makes a lot of sense. It's an interesting vehicle, and I like that they kind of made it job site oriented, so you can use it to backup power your house. Like that's kind of what I was thinking when they originally announced the Cybertruck with like 100 kilowatt hour battery, and
I need to get my reservation out of there. I reserved one.
Yeah, but it was they announced it at like 30 grand for 100 kilowatt hour battery, and that seemed amazing. And then you could theoretically like finance it and then have a giant solar battery and then plug that up to your house, and then any of the solar that you have on your house, you could use that to charge the truck. So that would have made a lot of sense, but then they like tripled the price of the Cybertruck, and that made less sense. But the Lightning, I think, is still interesting. I don't know.
I prefer my Tacoma.
Yeah, Tacomas are sweet. They're kind of, if I got a Tacoma, I would want to supercharge it though. You can get a supercharger from the factory yeah, they're pretty sweet that way. Especially if you're going to put bigger tires on it and everything.
It seems like most people who come and visit us, they have 4Runners. That's a very Colorado choice.
Yeah, it is. Should we do rapid fire questions?
Yeah, maybe. Are we done with our updates?
I think so. I'm gonna go back to
Yes.
it and you can read. Oh, we wanted to ask what types of videos, like we're going to be doing building videos and day in the life videos. We've been thinking about doing some food prep videos.
Making a bunch, because we've got a bunch of space in our freezer and we are about to be so busy. The build is about to take off once we get our batteries in. Installing those, getting our kitchen appliances, getting our kitchen going, our bathroom going. We've just been waiting on solar. And like we said at the very beginning, I don't know how many of you heard, we are going to be working with a battery company that we are really excited about, but we've been with back and forth with communication for the last 6 months. And that has, they told us we were going to be ready to go in April at the very latest.
So yeah, it's been a minute.
Everything has been set back and we haven't wanted to buy any of our official kitchen appliances without knowing how much power we're truly going to have and what's going to work. And so once we get that all set up, everything's going to take off.
It's been kind of a blessing in disguise though, because we've been able to like get a lot of things dialed and really get in a rhythm on things. And so it's been okay to not have to be balls to the wall building all the time.
For sure. It's just been hard to come up with topics kind of for YouTube because we've been building a house lately and we've wanted to continue that series, if you will, the story of our house build. So soon we'll be able to. But it has been, I don't know, once the building gets going, the videos, it's really hard to edit because we have so much to do.
A lot of people are saying cooking videos.
Videos, really? Yeah. Oh, what I was saying was just to help us with how busy we're going to be, having a freezer full of, I saw this dude making all kinds of delicious burritos, protein-packed burritos.
That's kind of our plan.
Soups, honestly, chili would be cool. We're kind of running out of venison. We ate so much of it over the winter that I don't know what we're going to do.
Which is great. Like that's what we wanted to do.
We did not limit ourselves over the winter in our first time indoor kitchen in 7 years.
Starting out, it felt like we had so much, and then
we couldn't fit anything in the freezer because the freezer was full of venison. And all of a sudden, we were like, "Where did it all go?"
Somebody said taking the GX out 4x4ing.
Oh,
we
have a video with some of that coming up.
Right.
That's been really fun. We have some great trails in the vicinity.
An overnight scamp trip. Yeah, we've kicked that idea around. That's something that we always want. We need to, like, when we have some extra money, we want to build this scamp. Well, not necessarily build it, but like have dedicated everything in the scamp, like camping gear, so that when we want to go out and just like blast off for the weekend, we can just hitch up and go.
Which, do some people do that? In a camper, they have their own dishware and stuff.
Yeah, for sure. Oh, somebody said that they just got Bedrocks and they love them.
Ah, me too.
Yeah,
I love mine.
Yeah, the scamp, this fifth wheel, when we were living in the scamp, we like dreamt about having one.
Though it would have been, don't they do kind of funky things to the hitch?
Yeah,
is
like
weird.
When you're going over, like if you went through a ditch, like a deep ditch, then like gooseneck hitch can like hit on the sides of the bed. So it just wouldn't be quite as capable.
It would have just been so nice to have that bed up on the truck bed area. Right? Because it sits a little up above the truck. Yeah, it's a weird hitch, isn't it?
Yeah, it's a gooseneck hitch. Heard that guinea fowl are noisy. Yeah, that's the issue. And yeah, if they're aggressive, we would just have to train them to not beat up the chickens by like being the bigger chicken, I guess.
We've got 709 people watching right now and only 322 likes.
You want to smash the thumbs up button?
If you would, it would help us out a lot. Thank you in advance.
How old is Camp? Camp is 10. He's an old guy. But he's doing awesome.
He is. It's just insane that dogs don't live forever. I can't imagine not having him.
Somebody asked if we have a big, thank you guys for hitting that button. Somebody asked if we have a big garden going, and yes, we just moved most of it out, like our starts and everything outside today.
What camera lens filter setup do you normally use? I use an EOS R. Barron has an RP that he'll use for supplementary stuff. But mostly the R. Our favorite lens, our most useful, well-rounded lens, what's the word? What am I saying? Is the 24
Dynamic, I guess.
24 to 105. And then the second lens, when you do this, I think you're kind of shifting the computer.
Oh, sorry.
The second favorite lens is a 15 to 35 wide angle. That's great for vlogging.
And then the 50 prime is really
beautiful.
cool for getting them like bokeh, but you have to kind of think artistically to shoot with that.
The autofocus on it is really loud. So for video, I have to shoot everything in manual,
Manual focus,
which is what the pros probably do anyway. But for YouTube videos, it's easier to just not do that.
And then my favorite lens is a Sigma 150 to 600. And then I have a 24 to 240 as well. I like being able to reach out for like animals and stuff.
One day when we have just a spare 10 grand laying around, aren't they more than that? Canon has a really
but I would
amazing,
get an old one. Like,
really?
Yeah, because they're the same thing, just like heavier.
A really nice long lens. Barron is an incredible photographer. And it will be one day. We'll have one of those one day.
But we should, I think, start looking at, honestly, we need to get you a new iPhone.
I know.
To shoot supplemental video on.
Most of our highest viewed videos from our Scamp days were shot on iPhone, strictly iPhone, which shows it's not about the gear, it's about the story.
Yeah. Which is wild because some of the most well-shot stuff on our good cameras doesn't do as well.
I know, but it's about the story.
Yeah, it's interesting. But yeah, I think we're kind of it's about time to upgrade our main camera, I think, and then I could take over using the R.
Mm-hmm.
But I don't know. There's kind of not, if we're still uploading in 1080, it doesn't super matter.
When using iPhone, I either used Premiere or Final Cut, whichever one I was using at the time. I haven't found a very excellent iPhone editing app. I think CapCut is the only iPhone, or maybe it's just a phone in general app. Somebody
asked if we watched WWDC today, and I listened to it and watched part of it. And there were a lot of kind of like quality of life things with the software that I'm excited about, but nothing that's like, oh my gosh, amazing.
You watch every Apple event for the most part, if you are available.
Google event, like all of them, if I can.
You're a nerd in so many areas. It's amazing how much you have packed into your brain. You're so smart.
Oh,
you're so smart.
You're so sweet. As far as house stuff goes, what's up next? It's mainly solar, and then once we get solar going, then everything else can come online from there. But that's our big thing that has to happen. But then we need to put another coat of stucco on the outside. Hopefully we can do that before fall.
Rainwater
collection. We need to finish the drywall mud inside. We need to do another coat of that and then paint it.
Build or buy cabinets.
We need to make a decision on what we're going to do for our ceiling. We're thinking about, after hanging this plywood on the wall, we're thinking about just doing that for the ceiling and painting it the same color. Because then that would highlight the big beams that we have, rather than, like, it wouldn't take away from the beams. So
we were going to do drywall on this wall, but everything is so uneven.
Yeah, because we use rough cut lumber for everything, so we have to kind of work with that. And a lot of our lumber within our house sat out a whole season
through winter.
Yeah, through winter and summer, and like a whole. Yeah,
it's unique. It's custom. It's a very custom home.
Yeah.
Do you still journal? I used to love your journal videos. I do almost every day. I know I have a journal video in the works. It's a reading journal video, though. I don't know that many people know what that is, but I've been making A reading journal. I've been saving this video for when we have nothing else to upload, and I gotta upload, so maybe next month.
Thank you, Scott.
Thank you, Scott.
But yeah, have we missed any super chats?
You can click that one. Gail. Oh wait, DL. I mean, what am I saying?
DL. Thank you.
DL. Thank you so much.
Appreciate you. Sorry we missed that. We must have been in the zone. But journal video, I mean, like the old journal video you did that you like were reading the journal entry and then had footage of what you were talking about over top of it. This is my life or whatever it's called.
One of those first scamp videos.
That was
cool. I've said this a million times, but I have this goal to make a photo book with journal excerpts from our travels. I have a bunch of things I want to do with my life and not enough time. But at least I do a lot of the things that I want to do.
We're getting more and more time to like do things like that as the house gets more finished.
It's very challenging to be working full time while building a house, while having like kind of living in the house, or we were living in the A-frame, or we were living in the scamp. It's way to go. It's a something, but we at least really enjoy what we do.
Well, because in the A-frame, it was, I don't know, even just living off grid is kind of like takes time until you get all your systems dialed. So in the A-frame, not having enough water and I don't know, and like dealing with solar and running the generator here and there and dealing with it being so hot, not having a fridge or freezer and like bathroom situation, the whole thing just takes time to keep ourselves alive. But as we get all the systems more and more dialed, then we don't need to.
Then it feels more like a traditional home.
Yeah.
I think we're so used to it that we forget to show that on YouTube, the amount of work that it takes to live off grid, because our systems are still pretty, what would you say? Our systems are not, they still require a lot of moving parts.
Yeah. They're not quite like automated yet. Like our well, for example, we have to take our battery down there
and gas generator to fill our cistern to be able to operate our pump.
But at least we're using our cistern now and we have a pump. And like
these slow upgrades that we make improve our quality of life so much that it just, even though they're really small, I feel like we're constantly making our lives better and better and better. So it keeps us really happy. Despite not having really common luxuries, we're constantly pretty stoked.
Because we're making incremental improvements. So over time, a rooftop garden is for sure something that we'd like to do eventually. But yeah, over time, we're getting everything more and more dialed. Like even getting this wall in the back feels really good, you know? So.
Make a cookbook. Oh, maybe. I don't want to make a cookbook.
Why are you so resistant to it? Everybody wants a cookbook.
Because I got to make it really nice. If I'm going to make one, I have to make it really nice. And there's so many other things I want to do with my time. And I wouldn't want to do it for the money. Or the money isn't a driver for me. So if it's not something I really want to do, I don't want to do it. You know what I mean?
Yeah. I think it could be fun though. Well, and maybe it would be, I don't know. We should just start including more cooking in videos.
Hi.
You know?
Yeah, I know. I think it was the outdoor A-frame kitchen wasn't that cute. And so I think I got out of the habit.
Yeah, it was gnarly.
And
our kitchen in here hasn't been cute, but it's cuter now.
It's been pretty cute.
I just cleaned it all up.
Come here.
Hop up.
Come on.
Hop
Come
up.
here. Hold up. Come on.
Hop up.
Come on. You said hi.
Pilot is the sweetest, and she is the loudest and most annoying and the sweetest.
She's my girl.
She's Elsa's dog.
We both snore together at night.
Yeah. Big snorers. When we finish the kitchen, that's another thing that's like contingent upon solar, because we've been debating whether we're going to do induction cooktops or propane, and then we want to have a propane oven.
Yeah, I think so.
And we were kicking around the idea of an inline electric water heater.
We should have enough solar for a washing machine.
Yeah, but I don't think that we will have I think we'll do propane inline water heater, not electric, because it takes an ungodly amount of power to do an electric one.
Yeah, we've heard so many from our Nomad friends and people who visit, from people online, completely opposite opinions. And we'll just have to see.
So, yeah, it's a lot of things like that that are, I don't know. They're dependent on, like, finishing the kitchen is very dependent on our solar kit. And we want to have the solar kit installed and start using it for a while before we start buying appliances, because we want to see how much solar draw we're going to have on everything. And yeah, just make all of those decisions. So that's when the kitchen will be finished. But I just sanded our countertops. Where are they? They're in there.
Hey!
And that made a big difference.
Cookbook pages that can be collected in a binder. You remember my little idea?
Yeah.
It's similar to that, actually. A pretty rough, rugged, minimal camping. I think that what I get hung up on is I feel like it would require a lot of really beautiful photos for a nice cookbook, but we don't have very nice pans or very nice. None of our stuff looks very pretty.
It would just be authentic. Like,
yeah,
I think we would just have to get over that.
Yeah, we'd have to surrender to the authenticity of everything not looking super gorgeous.
Somebody asked when we plan on adding a shop, and that's a thing. I know I just blocked it. Sorry. That's a thing that we would like ASAP, but it's expensive, and we really need a garage too, just to keep pack rats out of the cars. But yeah, I would like to have a dedicated shop eventually, but that's going to be a ways down the road once we get the house all finished and get the garage finished. Then eventually we'll have a shop. But I've been kind of moving my office into the A-frame, which has been super nice. I just got all the stuff. Well, we talked about it in a video, but I just got all the pieces to make, to bring the internet down there with power over Ethernet, so I don't have to have batteries down there all the time and stuff.
You would have had it done already, but the parts didn't come correctly.
Yeah, it's a bummer, but yeah. Is my hat still sideways? Why?
No,
is it?
I don't think so.
Garage is a must. Yeah, I would have thought that we would need a garage, but just for the pack rats, is just to keep them out of our cars would be really nice, because they'll build cactus nests in our engine bays and then chew on wires, and then it's just a nightmare.
In every vehicle.
Yeah. What's your favorite book? It depends on context.
The Stranger in the Woods comes to mind.
Let My People Go Surfing and Rework are my favorite business books. That and The 4-Hour Work Week.
I've been reading so many awesome fiction books lately. None of them are my favorites, though.
Nonfiction, Sapiens is really good.
ACOTAR was amazing.
All of Ryan Holiday's books are really good, too.
I love fiction. I love to have a good story that kind of takes me to a different world.
I've been listening to the Meat Eater, American, The Long Hunters. It's about like Daniel Boone and all of the guys in like the 1760s to 1780s that spent months and months hunting in the American West.
Got our book collection over here. Just, I can't see anything, but was considering. Sorry.
Yeah, we have a lot of really sweet books. It would be fun to do like a book flip through.
Ishmael. Yeah. Eric said.
Yeah, Ishmael is a really good book.
I honestly like the story of B even better than Ishmael.
What was it?
I think it's the
We
third in
listened
that
to
series.
it.
I think I read the story of B
Hmm.
a couple times.
Yeah, I don't recall. Yeah, that was.
What?
There's a meme about. Yeah, I'm not going to go into that.
Okay.
Create an outdoor kitchen that doesn't. We're cool on outdoor kitchens, I feel like.
I would like, though, eventually to have an outdoor kitchen set up and stuff for the A-frame. Well, I don't know. We've kind of learned that it's really hard to cater to our certain off-grid guests so consistently anyway. The A-frame is kind of like a guest house for us, and we've just learned that it's very hard when we are operating ourselves on a pretty rugged off-grid system to then keep people alive in the A-frame as well. Is really challenging. So I think that having a nice off-grid shower and a nice outdoor off-grid kitchen would be incredible, but it takes so much work to teach people how to use all the stuff off-grid that it's actually quite a lot harder than it is enjoyable.
I think we've been kicking around the idea of having kind of like micro retreats for YouTube subscribers and just general people that like you come out and I don't know, stay in the A-frame for a couple nights and talk about how to off-grid live and like provide some food or I don't know, whatever. But it would have to be fairly expensive to make it worth doing all of it.
Mm-hmm.
So we've been hesitant to do that because we don't want it to be prohibitive or cost prohibitive. Like we want it to be available to everybody, but it would have to be a certain amount of money for it to be worth doing. So it's kind of I don't know.
We're still figuring that out, and also having people we don't know out on our land, but also people do that with Airbnb all the time.
Yeah.
I don't know.
And we're still kicking around the idea of a camp event, but I don't know if that'll happen this year. It's a lot. We just have a lot of plates up in the air, even though it might seem like we don't. There's a lot of things going on. You got ChatGPT after we talked about it. I wasn't necessarily trying to convince everybody to use ChatGPT, but I think it's here. And if there are lots of businesses and jobs that are going to be replaced by AI, so I feel like if we can learn to harness the power of it, then we won't be made obsolete as quickly. So, yeah, I don't.
What are the pros and cons of living in Colorado? Taxes, politics, land zoning, lifestyle design, etc. Most of those things are challenging to work with, but we love the mountains and love where we chose to live in Colorado. And it's incredible to constantly be surrounded by people who want to do things outside.
Yeah.
It's very unlike our time in Kansas City because there's not much to do outside in Kansas City. It's no fault of the people.
I mean, there's a lot to talk about there, but it's hard to answer that without ruffling feathers, I feel like, too.
I think it's just it's a really wonderful geography.
Yeah. And generally, like the people in Colorado are awesome.
Yeah. We love it here.
Yeah.
I loved Oregon forests too.
Yeah.
We didn't spend enough time in Wyoming and Montana.
Yeah. Some fresh herbs and such. Thank you, Kelsey Sue 999. You out of your mind?
Just got home from work, so I'm a bit late hopping on. Happy to see you guys. Hope you can use this to buy some new fresh herbs and such. Elsa, thank you.
We have been pretty liberally buying plants. It's been a fun hobby for us to share for sure.
In one of our next 2 videos, you'll see our really fabulous collection.
Yeah.
I feel like Jenna Marbles, before she left YouTube, she did a huge plant tour, and I've dreamt of being her in so many ways, and that was one of them.
Somebody asked what hiking boots I generally wear, and they're Vivo Barefoot. They're awesome, highly recommended. They're expensive, but the leather ones last forever if you take care of them.
We also really liked our Solomons. Solomon, what were
Yeah.
they?
Mine G-Force something. Mine fell apart fairly.
You did a lot that year.
Yeah.
You were going hard in the paint, hard in the woods with hunting season, entering hunting season. Mine have been going strong for years because I don't walk as hard as you do.
Yeah.
Those are the shoes that I would wear for a bigger hike. You wear almost strictly barefoot.
Yeah.
Unless it's
like these are Vivo barefoot. It's like all I wear.
Heavy hardcore winter boots are not barefoot.
Yeah.
In your collection currently anyway.
Are your bikes automatic? Well, we have mountain bikes that we hardly ever ride anymore. I need to start riding it again. But ever since we got dirt bikes have just been more fun. Dirt bikes are just amazing. I've always wanted a dirt bike since I was a little kid. So where do you see yourselves 30 or 40 years from now?
How old will we be?
60, 70.
We'll be as old as all the people are in our neighborhood. It is going to be a really sad time to not have all these OGs with us one day. We've learned so much.
It depends on, we would like to stay in this house on this land for the rest of time. And we're just honest about the idea that might not be possible depending on how things shake out. Like if property taxes went crazy, or income taxes, or it's those types of things that would push us out and somewhere else. But that's not at all our intention. But I think it's good to kind of be honest about the idea that could eventually happen.
I think it'd be fun to build another house sometime when we have kids who have families. Have them live on our land with us. That'd be a dream anyway. And I don't know that would happen. We've
kicked around the idea of Puerto Rico, and I feel like in the mountains of Puerto Rico would be really cool. And then I could spearfish for food. It would just be like a big gear switch, but I think it'd be really neat.
It'd be hard to not have winter sports.
Yeah. But we would have ocean sports.
You know what?
Spearfishing and
I'd have to, and surfing.
Yeah.
It would just be it's just like coming to Colorado. I have had to learn so many new things. Backpacking, dirt biking, snowboarding. I had never done any of these things before we got into this camp. And yeah, it's interesting. There's so many locals out here who grew up doing all of this stuff. And it's so cool to go to Puerto Rico. I'd be old and I'd learn how to do it, but that'd be interesting.
Well, and foraging there's just papayas and mangoes and everything just in the trees. So our garden could just be the most kick-ass.
Not during hurricane season. You know what's kind of weird is there was what was that huge hurricane that went through? We went a few months after that big hurricane, and it was amazing to see how the people who live there know how to handle hurricanes. And it was very, at least what we saw.
Illuminating, yeah.
Yeah. The locals, they live in a hurricane zone, so they know how to operate. And it just felt great.
Like they had it dialed.
Whereas on the news, the media really made it seem like it was.
And I'm sure there was a lot.
Yeah. We didn't go to the rural areas or anything.
But most of the houses were built a lot like how our house is built now. And that's where we derived some of our inspiration for our house.
For sure.
And they're concrete and can withstand any type of weather. And it was super inspiring to see those.
Yeah, it's interesting that most of the homes in the United States are built the same, stick frame, not so much geographically suited.
Yeah.
After we've been building our house, we've seen a lot of comments from European people saying that it's not a unique idea. All of our homes are built like that. And I wouldn't have ever known.
Yeah. Well, I think a lot of that is code oriented.
Yeah.
Like a lot of the houses in the United States are built for the maximum square footage for as cheap as possible. There's no design around function or efficiency. It's just you just stick frame it, put whatever the legal amount of insulation is, and don't orient it with the sun or anything. and put in whatever appliances you need, and then just constantly use propane and electricity to fight whatever inclement weather there is.
I lived in Puerto Rico for 3 years. You don't understand how hot it is. I can't imagine being so far south and so humid, I'm sure. Yeah, we only ever went in the winter.
Our winter.
Mhm. We've been 2 or 3 times.
Yeah. But yeah, the whole like how code works and like to legislate that houses have to be built in a certain way, I feel like is fairly idealistic, because it seems like if you make it so that everybody's house has to be built to X R value or Y strength or whatever square footage, it's like then everybody will just have like a really insulated home, and everybody will have at least 1,000 square feet and all this, where it's like if you over legislate building codes, then people can't afford to live in the houses because they're more expensive to build. So it's one of those things where like good intentions, but the consequences of it end up kind of being tough.
Would you ever build a bunker?
Kind of did.
Yeah, above
Our
ground.
house is fairly bunker-esque.
We would have already probably built a root cellar if we weren't on solid rock.
Yeah. We've talked a lot about, we want to make a video about like preparedness that's not, we mentioned that with the ChatGPT video, that's not like crazy fear-inducing. Yeah, just like things that you can do to be a little bit more self-reliant and less dependent on systems that are outside of your control, and things that are like low-hanging fruit to keep yourself, I don't know, happy and alive. And that's a video that we want to make pretty soon.
We've put a whole lot of thought into all these things because that's how we've kept ourselves alive.
Right.
A lot of these
like
things.
In the scamp, we always had to have a like a month's worth of food just in case we got snowed in. And yeah.
Amy, thank you. Welcome to Nomad, a new member. For any of you who weren't here earlier, just want to mention that we have a YouTube partner manager.
No.
She's getting ready for dinner, so we'll have to end this live soon.
Yeah.
But it was probably about time anyway.
Stop,
girlfriend.
Girl. Lay down.
We have a YouTube partner manager who she gives us tips and tricks for making our YouTube channel thrive. Whoa.
Girl, enough.
She advised that we do set up our membership function on YouTube. So we did that. And nothing will change for anyone, but we just made it available now. If you want to join membership through YouTube, it's similar to Patreon, but YouTube's version of it. She said that it would assist our
like how we're favored algorithmically and stuff.
So we went ahead and did that. And a few of you have joined, and thank you so much. It means so much to us. It is very helpful.
And we'll probably do like little quick video updates, kind of like almost like Instagram stories where they're fairly low key. And
anyone who is a member, your comments go in a separate section in comments, and we will respond. That's how Patreon is too. Anyone who comments, it's kind of like a direct communication feature if you want to get in contact.
Is our house just under 1,000 square feet?
It's just over 900, including the upstairs. Will.i.am, thank you. Welcome to Nomad. I'm in, guys. Thank you.
And then, yeah, when you comment and stuff, it shows up a little bit better if you're a member.
Linda Foster, thank you.
But don't at all feel obligated to do that.
Yeah.
Not even in the least, but if you want to.
We just wanted to say that this YouTube advised that we do it, so we did it. How do you join? I think the join button next to their channel name. I guess that's how.
Also, hi, Mom.
Also, hi, Mom. What are the barefoot sandals you two wear? Bedrocks. Susie, thank you so much. Thanks, everybody.
Do you have any fitness routines? I've been doing push-ups and pull-ups lately. And Elsa's been walking every morning.
Sunrise, 2 miles, altitude walks. It's been great. Great for my mental, maybe even more so than my body.
But yeah, we're just generally fairly active.
I wonder how much being at altitude keeps you in shape, because colleges will come and run at altitude, but I think it's more of is it a lung thing more so
and
than
cardiovascular, like your heart and stuff too.
See all of this is really nice. All the people who are members commenting, now you're in green with the blue
it's easier to
mark.
see.
Cool, that's nice. But also nobody has to join. You don't have to join. Nothing changes.
But yeah, we don't really have I don't know. I feel like I'll work out more and run more. Well, I have been doing more now that we have our shower.
Someone else mentioned that you smoked a few videos back. What? When did?
I think we were standing around the fire talking about mustaches.
Probably. We live in Colorado.
Yeah.
We don't smoke very often.
Almost never.
We are growing a few CBD plants. We've never done that before, and we'll see how that goes.
Do you guys have any favorite YouTubers? Hi, Lily. Lily was asking if we have any favorite YouTubers.
Here.
I mean, I watch a lot of YouTube, but it's all like fairly geeky stuff. Like it's super niche.
Where are you seeing Lily?
Right here. Lily would like to know if you from School Baby.
Oh. Sailing the Vagabond.
Yeah, they're awesome.
They just make great stuff, and we followed them for a long time.
I want to be their friend. Who else? MKBHD is obviously like the most awesome tech-oriented. I don't know. Those aren't very.
I follow so many Korean cooking channels, journaling channels, all kinds of weird channels.
Oh, Donut Media. If you're into cars at all, Donut Media is amazing. Let me look at my subscriptions here too.
Okay, hold on.
Hold up.
Sick. Pilot says, I can't anymore.
Girl, we're not doing that.
This is her all day, every day.
If you're, I don't know, I like hesitate to mention this, but in the politics realm, Breaking Points is really good and fairly balanced in their coverage of what's going on in the world.
I love Tiny Desks, Tiny Desk, NPR's music thing, and all the smaller artists that they show. I love those videos.
Oh, what's his name? Makes basketball videos.
Ambition Strikes. That sounds familiar.
It's gonna drive me nuts. What's his name?
I have so many favorite channels that are not coming to my mind right now.
Me too.
Terribly sorry.
Oh my gosh, it's gonna drive me nuts. I can't think of his name. But he makes basketball, like mini documentaries about the NBA. And I'm not like a huge sports ball fan, but they're like phenomenal videos. Goodness, I can't think of his name.
My Self-Reliance. I followed him for forever too.
I can't think of it. I'm gonna freak out.
Yes, Lizzie Key. Was she Chinese? I know. She had amazing videos. Was she? I don't know where she's from.
Jimmy High Roller. That's his name. The basketball. If you're at all into any kinds of sports ball, Jimmy High Roller is phenomenal little.
Girl in the Woods.
Let's see. Oh, in the elk hunting world is awesome.
Girlfriend.
He's getting into spearfishing and stuff now too.
If I feed her, she's gonna still continue to go crazy. Why don't we put you outside for a sec? Your food.
Okay.
Then we can go for a little bit longer.
Okay.
So ask your rapid fire questions now.
Yeah, I can rapid fire. Okay. Rapid fire. Simple Living Alaska, yeah, they're awesome.
Oh, they're amazing. There's so many.
Yeah, it's hard to think of like off the cuff because I don't know. I watch like mostly niche, super geeky YouTube stuff. So do you still play WoW? No, I quit playing WoW because it's too fun. Honestly, I think they screwed up with the release of Cataclysm and that the last like part of Season of Discovery was not that good. I used to, somebody asked me, I want a 3D printer. I used to use 3D printers a lot when I was in the like watchmaking world and startup world, but I haven't had one in a long time. I haven't used one in a long time. But it's called G code, right? I used to like play around with that a bunch. But yeah, Donut Media, as far as car stuff goes, they're amazing. If you're like interested in any specific vehicle, they probably have a video on it. What editor software does Elsa use to make and put videos together? She uses Final Cut, right? Yeah. And Final Cut's amazing. I've been learning it too, and it's phenomenal. Did you look at the older Toyota Sequoias? Yes, I did. They're just a little big, but I would definitely consider one of those, like as we have kids and stuff. Sequoias are really slept on too because they're effectively like a Land Cruiser platform, but yeah, they're a little more affordable too if they're older. I feel like anything but a 4Runner in the Toyota world, because 4Runners, everybody thinks that they're the only way, but all of the other like Land Cruiser-esque platforms are super interesting too. TNVOL gal, thank you. $4.99. You out of your mind?
You out of your mind.
How do you deal with the creative lulls and/or blocks? That's hard. I don't know. I feel like you just gotta we just have to stick with it. Right? I think journaling helps with that a lot. What do you do, Elsa?
New things.
Yeah. Honestly, for me, it's learning new things. Like if I feel stuck or whatever, if I can get into a new like area of learning, that helps me a lot. How do you say your name? La Cienega Studio. In case you're interested in getting that Instant Pot air fryer that I messaged you about last week. Oh, thank you so much. That's really sweet of you. Yeah, and like Cameron Nomadic said, 4Runners are fairly gutless, but like the older ones, you can get them with the big old 4.7 V8, and then they're not quite as gutless. But then if you're going to run big tires and you have like the V6 4Runner, you have to like re-gear just like you do with the Tacomas and stuff. They're phenomenal vehicles, but as you start to build them out, they are fairly underpowered. What's the possibility of trying wind energy? I would love to do that, but all of our neighbors tried it when the technology was fairly new, and the wind is so gusty here that it like melted all of them. How did Elsa and I meet from Lou? We met in Lawrence, Kansas. She was in college and I was just not. And we met on the mean streets of Lawrence. I would like to learn how to back up my bowler. Okay, so for backing up trailers, in my experience, smaller trailers are harder to maneuver when you're backing up than longer trailers are. And when you're backing up, if you grab the bottom of the wheel, whichever way you turn your hand, like if you go up this way, then the trailer will go that way. If you go up this way, the trailer will go that way. So that's the biggest thing. And just make small incremental movements and be patient. Like if you have people watching, that's the hardest time to, or that's the hardest way to back up a trailer is if people are watching, because your ego gets involved and then you try to do it as fast as possible and then it gets all wonky. I have seen you have done fly fishing. Yeah, Linnea gave me a Western fly rod earlier this year. I'd like to get more into that. Before that, though, I've just fished Tinkara and spin casting. But I would like to. I think Elsa and I would have fun tying our own flies and stuff. So I really want to get into Western style fly fishing. Yeah, that somebody Wolfpack said if the trailer's small enough like mine, you can unhitch it and move it around by hand. And yeah, that was why the scamp was so valuable to us, because if we got stuck anywhere, we could just unhitch and spin it. And yeah, that was invaluable. Having a heavier camper would have been really difficult. What does it mean to be on Discord? Discord is hello from the Buffalo River. I love the Buffalo River. Discord is a like server where you can talk in text, and it's like a big chat kind of forum, and we have a Discord server that you can join. It used to be exclusively a gaming oriented platform, but now it's everything. And we have a Discord server with all the topics that we're interested in. If you care to join, there's like 4,000 people in it. Love you too. Please stay in touch. Love your videos. Thank you, Susie. That's really sweet of you. Appreciate you. Yeah, Discord is similar-ish to Slack. What are the downsides to living in Colorado? It's expensive. Well, it depends on where you're at, but it's expensive. And I don't know. It's hard. Everywhere is hard these days. It's like, I don't think Colorado's especially difficult for many things. The hunting in Colorado is wonderful, and I'm hoping that they don't take that away over time, but I don't know.
Beep.
I'm trying. This is where you were sitting. I was having to kind of squeeze around you. Elsa, do you have any interest in making hand-tied fishing flies?
Yeah, I think
that would be super fun.
And if you have any interest in doing it too, for us to learn together would be really fun. I think I'd be pretty solid at it if I put some time into it.
Can somebody link the Discord server or our Discord server? I don't have Discord on this computer. I could pull it up on my phone.
Steps back there. This is my father. So amazing watching Elsa take multiple steps back there. So used to just reaching across the scamp.
Yeah.
It's true.
That's funny. Would you recommend a certain Apple tablet over another? I feel like a lot of the iPads, the technology hasn't progressed much. So if you're on a tight budget, you could probably find quite a bit older iPad, and it would do everything you would need it to.
Yeah, I got an iPad Pro last summer, and it's just a bit newer and a little bit quicker than my last iPad Pro that I got 5 or 6 years prior.
If you're like a power user and you're trying to use it as a substitute,
as a laptop or something with a keyboard,
then I would get one of them that has the M1 chip. But if you're just going to be using it for low level computational tasks, browsing or YouTube or taking notes, all that, drawing, all that kind of stuff, then I have an older iPad mini that works great. But yeah, you could get an older model, even up to 5 years old, and it'll probably do everything just fine. I would look at what years of iPads they are discontinuing their support for, as far as iOS updates go, and then maybe go a couple years newer than that at the oldest. So then you know that when you buy it, you'll be supported with new updates for at least a couple years.
Eric, I added you as a moderator.
That's dangerous.
Is it? I feel like
no, I'm just kidding. Don't let the power go to your head, Rick.
I can't hardly see from here anymore, so you got to ask the questions.
Elsa, ask for a 3D printer so you can do lost wax casting.
Yeah, that would be sweet. It's actually interesting. My brother is getting into 3D printing, so I could ask him a thing or two soon.
Oh yeah, I forgot. And Eric, you need to come out here and weld us some stuff. Teach me how to weld. That's something I think I will get very into in the future, but I haven't made time for it. We haven't had projects that really need it just yet.
Eric, being a moderator, it helps us with removing comments. Nick's Picks and Rosa are also moderators, and Dad is also a moderator.
If anybody's being a meanie pants, you can put them in timeout. Will you always be a 2-dog family? Probably.
Unless one of them ends too early.
But then we'll
maybe
probably
one.
get a second one.
Probably. 2 dogs is different than 1 dog.
Well, Pilot is just a lot.
She's a baby.
Yeah, and a handful. Pilot is wonderful. Well, she is.
She's amazing.
Yeah, she's the best, but it's difficult.
They are polar opposites in ways. Her pros are Camp's cons, and vice versa.
Like Camp is so quiet and like independent, and Pilot is so loud and like attached to your hip.
But Camp will never come to his name, and Pilot will.
Right. And anytime we have a new visitor, Pilot sings the song of her people, and Camp can't be bothered to stand up.
Yeah.
But that's what we wanted, is kind of guard dog oriented, but it's been interesting to kind of find the balance of when barks are useful and not useful. But yeah, she's amazing. And she's super intuitive too.
I'm getting kind of hungry. We've been going hard for a long time.
Eric, I got my welder. It's a stick, like flux core welder from Harbor Freight. So it's like cheap, but it was really well reviewed and supposedly super easy to use, but you can't make like really pretty welds with it, but super affordable. And it doesn't pull as much power, and you don't need as much gas, or you don't need the gas and everything like you do for other welding types, because with the flux core, the flux is in the core of the wire. I know you know that, but for people that may not. If you could reposition your house anywhere on your lot, is there a spot? Not really. We're our lot slopes to the north. So I think aesthetically, we were just talking about this the other day, our house would look kind of more natural on the topography if it were spun around 180 degrees. But for all the solar gain and stuff, it needs to be almost like facing uphill. But I think aesthetically, it would look better if it were facing downhill, but then it would be facing north, and it can't be facing north. So I think I don't think we would move it.
No.
If our land went up higher on the hill, then maybe we'd put it up higher, but beyond that. Do you guys miss being in the Scamp? I'd say the only thing I miss about it is the how few things that we had to manage. Like, I feel like several times a month I have to go through and reorganize and clean everything. So that's a pain in the butt. Just because we have to have so many tools and resources, and living so far away from hardware stores, we have to have like loads of all different screw sizes and tools on hand. It's helped so much having James and Doreen nearby, and the rest of our neighbors that are super resourceful and have lived out in the middle of nowhere for so long. But yeah, having to have so many things is cumbersome. That was what was so wonderful about the Scamp. We can watch you cook since you're hungry. Unfortunately, we're on the iMac, so it's not like the most movable. What's the biggest thing you had to adjust to living in a house?
Peace.
Peace?
Happiness.
Yeah, it's been a real bummer. I don't know.
Space. These are all things that were happy adjustments.
What was hard though? Having a German Shepherd and
the A-frame was
her
way
shedding.
worse.
No, I'm just saying her shedding.
Yeah.
Like having to sweep our floor like multiple times a week is a thing. Just having like so much more space to keep clean.
No carpet, but I think we'll add neat
More
rugs.
Yeah.
Because this room is huge. We kind of have 4 different rooms within this room, and that was by design. But to separate them in kind of a feng shui manner, rugs would help with that. But we don't want to. The rugs that we do have, one of them is an outdoor rug, and one of them was a free, brand new rug from a friend's thrift store. We don't want to do anything too serious, too nice until we have the house more finished, because things are always just so messy in here.
People are still asking for the Discord link. I'm just going to grab it on my phone.
All the work was tough. Very tough, physically and mentally.
But it's been so fun to be able to build.
And the amount of things that we've both learned has been pretty limitless. To know that we could do this again is so cool. I've been very happy living in this house. I was happy in the scamp too, but this is something that was the goal all along. So I've been really stoked. My uncle sheds a lot too. That's kind of weird.
Okay, I'm trying to get a Discord link.
There Barron goes again on Pilot.
What do you mean?
Smiley face, at least. You'll see in the next video, gardening video, I
sprayed her with the hose because she loves it. And it makes me feel better.
Sprayed her with the jet function.
Whatever.
She loves it, but it does seem a little intense.
Yeah, but it's her favorite thing.
Mm-hmm.
We have a great relationship.
You do.
Okay, here is the Discord link. And that shouldn't expire, so I'll make it a couple times. Oh, somebody else posted the link before me. Sorry, I was so slow.
Oh, you know why? The link, when people comment links, it goes into the block.
Like held for review.
Yeah, so because we're on YouTube, I'm not seeing that. So that's probably why none of the links have showed up.
Yeah.
So there you go.
What temperature is the floor? Our floor stays nice.
Mm-hmm.
Like it's not hot or cold. It's like room temperature.
In the winter, in certain areas that were still not totally sealed and that were a little drafty, that would see wind. They're both down here. It would get cold then, but it also retains so much heat from the stove and from the sunlight.
Girl, we don't need a squeak. Does your bedroom have a balcony? It will. It will have a balcony. That's one of the things I'm most excited about is building out our decks.
Yeah, for sure. We'll spend all of our time out there.
Yeah, that'll be super fun. And I think building them will be a really fun, like creative exercise.
We need I feel like there has to be a father involved in that.
Yeah.
Building a deck is just a dad project.
Yeah, it totally is. My German Shepherd got worried when Pilot whined. She's been like scream barking at the thunder because she's not used to it. So anytime it thunders, she's like, intruder alert.
There's little camper.
We do have an old Dyson vacuum. When Elsa was in the Nick's Face Awards, she got a gift card to Target and we got a Dyson.
All the other girls and boy were spending theirs on makeup and stuff. And I said, I'm getting a vacuum.
Yeah. It's been great.
Yeah. It fills up with hair within a minute or two. And then you got to go outside and dump it out.
If you ever get a Dyson vacuum, get a adapter for whatever like power tool batteries you have. Like we have Ryobi tools. So we got a adapter for it.
Lasts forever. It
makes it so much better because the Dyson batteries crap. Like it lasts not even 5 minutes, whereas the Ryobi ones you can just quick hot swap them and go all day.
Elsa, always so practical. Respect. I think I learned to be practical either through or with Barron.
Yeah, you've always been. Well, that's not necessarily true.
Yeah,
you are super practical now, though.
Yeah. That's what's important.
Yeah. Leaf blower and open the door. That's a good idea.
We really wish that we had put a drain in our house so that we could just wet the floor and then scrape the water out like a garage.
Yeah.
But we didn't do that. Next build someday.
Yeah, a Roomba might work in here.
Oh my gosh, yeah. I think I just haven't gotten one because I don't want to ruin it.
Yeah, we would have to have like an industrial, like he would have to be a really cool Roomba.
And when we do cabinets and just finishing everything, there's always so much sawdust and paint, and I just wouldn't want to invest in a tool like that.
It's funny. Somebody said change the oil in their living room. Will I am. Yeah, but that's a joke, but we've wanted to do that with the dirt bikes because working in the dirt outside just kind of is difficult. So before we got the dirt bikes serviced, I was thinking about doing that, using our house as a dirt bike garage. Dyson just came out with a Roomba style. You hit them up. Do we have any rapid fire questions, or because we could wrap it up here soon? Probably. My brain's a little tired. Do you have plans to build a greenhouse? Yes, on the south side of our house, where all of our
sun is coming in.
Yeah, where our sliding glass doors are, we're gonna build a sliding glass or a greenhouse off of that. I think that'll be a sooner than later project, like in the next year or two.
It would be cool if it happened this summer, but if might not. We'll see.
We have so much to do, I feel like, and we'll be learning over the next year or two. With, did you go back and get more pots? Yes, we did.
A couple times.
Yeah, we have a bunch of pots and they're wonderful.
You should see our garden. Just wait. This video is going to be really fun.
Yeah.
It'll probably be 2 videos from now.
Garage build in the future. Yeah, that's kind of something that we're debating is, as we save up the money, do we build a garage or a greenhouse first? They're like kind of equally as important. So.
You're just down there partying.
But yeah, I don't know which would be, because the pack rats building houses in our cars is really difficult, but being able to grow our own food would be just as awesome. So I don't know. Another book, maybe we'll write a homestead book eventually, but I feel like we don't know enough to do that yet.
This dog's name is Camp.
Yeah. He's a sweet guy.
He's a legend.
Well, the thing is, like, I would love to do a greenhouse first, but when our car's electric components get chewed up and like we're unable to drive to town, that's really problematic. And that tends to happen. But then it's like, okay, get a cat, but we would just have to really take care of our cat because there's coyotes and everything else around here. So, and I feel like YouTube would be really angry at us if a wild animal got our cats. Did you know they were repulsed by lights? Yeah, to an extent. But yeah, we should probably have like automatic solar lights just in our engine bays. But yeah, that would be easier than building a garage. Yeah, they get used to it. That's the thing. Barron, can you order the book and have it sent to Australia? You can buy the digital book, but Elsa's mom does all of our shipping, and we don't want to like burden her with international shipping. And the book was initially just meant to be digital. So, yeah, the physical version is kind of like a bonus. So we don't ship it worldwide just for the complexity. And the shipping would be like double the price of the book, and it just doesn't really make sense economically. I'm sorry, but the digital version is really good too. How do you make a pack rat proof garage? You just leave the door closed, I guess. I don't know. We didn't see the northern lights for some reason. I don't know if it was cloudy or what, but I don't know. We'll leave that at that. I grow quite a bit hydroponically indoors. Yeah, we were looking at the like hydroponic towers, and we'd like to get into that. Do you have any trail cams set up? No, my parents do, and they've gotten all kinds of wildlife on theirs. An air rifle with a good scope, that would be sweet for pack rats. That's one way to get them, but they're nocturnal, so you have to have like, yeah, more technology than I have for that. It was a pleasure spending time with y'all. Have a great night.
We're about to head out too.
Yeah.
Well, stay tuned for some fun videos. This wall is going to be a really neat one to show you our garden and some food prep. We're going to fill up our freezer with pre-made fun meals.
Burritos for days.
And then we are going to be jumping swiftly back into a lot of things. Solar install. And it's going to be a busy summer.
Yeah, we have a lot going on, but it'll be fun. Okay, thank you guys. Thank you, everyone.
Thanks for being here.
And thank you for signing up for being members, everyone. That's really sweet of you.
Sax Cobra, thank you. Yeah, I really appreciate that and your understanding of that. I mean, whatever.
What?
Yeah. I think a lot of YouTubers do it. We just haven't done it.
Yeah.
And now we are. So there it is.
But like we said, nothing will really change if you don't subscribe. So don't feel like mega obligated, but you might get a little more fun stuff if you do.
Cool. Well, thanks everyone. We will see you later. Don't forget to thumbs up the video, and Pilot is saying goodbye right now.
Yeah.
So we'll see you guys later.